In this wacky world we live in, there's something called the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, which has grown to more than 600,000 square miles and is twice the size of Texas. I live in Texas, so trust me when I say there's nothing appealing about a trash island that's twice the size of this behemoth of a state. I say all this to paint you an accurate picture, as I would rather spend a week living aboard the Great Pacific Garbage Patch than watch any more of the dumpster fire that is My Little Sister Can't Be This Cute, or Oreimo. I went into Oreimo knowing full well what I was getting myself into, but I thought, it can't be that bad, can it? And now,
I want to die.
If you aren't at all familiar with the concept of Oreimo, allow me to express my sincerest congratulations, as I would give anything to forget I watched this abortion of an anime. I'd also like to apologize, as if you continue down this road, you're gonna have a bad time. Oreimo, or My Little Sister Can't Be This Cute, is an anime series produced by AIC Build, who also brought us titles like Tenchi Universe and, Persona 4 the animation, I guess? It's about, how should I put this?
It's about a brother and a sister. They fuck each other.
Nah, but in all seriousness, they probably fuck. In Oreimo, we follow Kyosuke and Kirino Kosaka, a pair of siblings who are constantly at odds with each other, which isn't entirely unusual at their age, but there's clearly something more at play in this case. Kyosuke is your average teenager. He sleepwalks through life, satisfied with being nothing special. Kirino's the polar opposite, with her growing career as a model, her track and field expertise, as well as her good old-fashioned popularity. Kirino insists she hates her brother for his apathy and plainness, but we all know. It would really be a shame if something happened to turn the tables on both of them, which is exactly what happens as Kirino reveals to Kyosuke that she is, in reality, an otaku. I never would have guessed it. I am literally shaking right now. Kirino lets Kyosuke in on the secret, which then means, for some reason, it's his job to help keep her dirty little secret from everyone in their lives. If anyone were to find out that Kirino is more than just a one-dimensional waifu, her friends and family would be so ashamed they'd all jump ship for a better anime. I'm aware that being an otaku is treated with more disdain in Japan than in most Western countries, but this series does an awful job of illustrating that. It makes sense that in a series about an otaku hiding the fact that she's an otaku, there might be some characters who discover the secret, but believe it or not, that's not really what it's about, as by the end, the secret is, as far as I'm aware, common knowledge. I'd say the series is more about the justification of an incest pairing with the whole secret otaku thing as background noise. In the first season, we're shown the struggle between Kirino and Kyosuke, how they're at each other's throats in public, but in private, they're able to act like actual siblings. Kind of. I say kind of, as when you go into this series knowing it's one of, if not the only series with a canonical incestual relationship, you second guess everything, even the innocent moments. In the second season, we get a lot more of the same stuff, but the whole canonical incest thing is emphasized to a greater degree, and as a result, even the innocent moments are gross. I did find it interesting how they were able to establish the internal conflict of someone who's living a dual identity, as her life would fall apart if her friends and family discovered she was a fan of erotic games and anime. It makes sense she'd want to keep it on the down low. But while this is the basic premise, it's quickly thrown out the window as the list of people who are in on the secret grows to encompass pretty much the entire cast. It's okay though, as the point of the series switches from keeping Kirino secret at all costs to the entire female cast, including Kirino, playing a nice friendly game of why can't we stop tripping over Kyosuke's massive penis. I'm not even kidding. It's not a new concept for the entire female cast of an anime to be collectively thirsty for the main protagonist, but this has to be a new low for the trope. In the 12th episode of Season 2, we're presented with a scenario where said female cast is in attendance at a quote-unquote housewarming party for Kyosuke, who's been kicked out of his house for reasons, but that's hardly important here. It's at this party that every single female in the cast cannot stop tripping over his dick. I cannot find the words to express how absolutely out of character it is for half of them to act this way, but I'll try. It felt as if they knew Kyosuke would end up choosing Kirino, but they had to justify that decision somehow, which led to the creation of drama, which led to characters who showed no signs of being attracted to Kyosuke for the entire series, tripping over his dick like it was a garden hose. If you don't mind, I'd like to play a game of why the fuck did they do that, as we talk about the decision to create alternate endings for each season. I'll admit I did not bother to watch said alternate endings, as if I'm right, they're unavailable to watch legally, and I'm not gonna stoop so low as to pirate this incestual power fantasy. It makes sense for the production team of any given series, anime or otherwise, to keep in mind the possibility of cancellation. In fact, if you were to tell me that, on average, the medium of anime sees just as many, if not more, cancellations than your average 30-minute sitcom on Fox, there's a good chance you'd be in the ballpark. I'd argue this is likely a reason the studio gave each season a non-canon ending and a canon ending. I'll remind you, this is a series about siblings screwing, so if you've ever been upset that Spice and Wolf, No Game, No Life, and Land of the Lustrous don't have second seasons, yet this one does, I am truly, sincerely sorry. In the Season 1 finale, Kirino announces she'll be going to a track and field training camp in the good old US of A, which drives a wedge between the siblings. It's then revealed that she's not going to the training, and just like that, the status quo remains unchanged, right? Wrong. If you go from this episode to the first episode of Season 2, you might notice some discrepancies. I certainly did, but I didn't care enough to go back and figure out what I was missing. I let my mind fill in the blanks, but I felt like I had missed something. It turns out there are 4 more ONA episodes, one of which is designed to replace the 12th episode of the first season, and the others to bridge the gap between the seasons. In these episodes, according to Wikipedia, because if I watch any more I will literally set myself on fire, Kirino does end up going to the training camp, and a bunch of other stupid shit happens. So, in the first episode of Season 2, when everyone is talking about Kirino's trip to America, which, as far as I was aware, didn't really happen, I was confused. It's a shame, because one of the best girls in the series, Kuroneko, has a romance plot with Kyosuke in the second season that is set up entirely within these ONA episodes, so that's just something you'll have to adjust to if you're anything like me and refuse to watch them. In the second season, you may notice that Kirino and Kyosuke don't really hook up. And after having listened to me blather on and on about this point for more or less the whole video, it might seem a bit, disappointing. If that's the case, fret not, young weeb lord, as there are 3 more ONAs that continue from where the 13th episode of Season 2 left off. In these episodes, Kirino and Kyosuke...
They fuck each other?
Nah, but for real though, they apparently get married or something. If I had to come up with anything to praise the series on, it'd probably be the OPs and EDs, as well as the character design and animation style. In terms of the OPs, both are performed by Clarice, who also performed the Puella Magi Madoka Magica OP, while each episode has a different ED performed by the cast, and they're usually related to the events of the episode they're used. I said before that the series was produced by AIC Build, but that's not entirely correct. It would seem that while they did produce the first season, the second was produced by A1 Pictures, but the staff would remain the same despite that. I really dig the way the characters are designed, and the way color is used to distinguish the cast from each other is expertly achieved. Kirino's flame orange hair contrasts neatly with Kuroneko's gothic Lolita palette, while both contrast with the normality of Ayase or Manami, so despite all the disgust I have for the series, its characters are fine in my book. I just wish the characters were in a different anime. If, for some reason I can't comprehend, you'd like to give Oreimo a shot, you can find it streaming on Crunchyroll, but I highly advise against it. But that's just like my opinion, man. Be sure to let me know yours in the comments below. If you like this episode of The Pixelation Show, be sure to brutally murder that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. I have merch available! If you'd like a shirt with my snazzy diamond logo, you'll find a link to my Redbubble store in the description below. If you'd like to support the channel in a larger way, I have a Patreon where you can pledge $1 to receive early access to videos. In any case, this has been Pixelation, reminding each and every one of you to stay pixelated.